Welcome to Assist College of Arts and Commerce. This is Assist Edupedia. Myself, Assistant Professor Sunil Shah. Today I will be covering up the topic called Modes of Settlement of Industrial Disputes under the Industrial Dispute Act 1947, which is in the subject called Industrial Law of SAM 2 of the class called first year BMS. And the topic is covered under Unit 1. Students, as you are aware, there are different modes of settlement of disputes. The first mode would be through mediation, that would be conciliation, followed with the committee which has been formed under the factory, that is would be industry, that would be called as works committee. And if there is a failure between the conciliation, it will go to works committee, and if there is a failure, it will go to adjudication. Adjudication would be through court hearing, consideration of evidence, followed with argumentation from both the parties, and finally resulting into the decision given by the Honorable High Court. So today in this particular video I will be speaking about this particular three parts, that is called works committee, conciliation and the adjudication process for the settlement of the disputes. Coming to the objective of the settlement of dispute would be the conciliation officer or the works committee or the adjudication or the arbitrator has to perform this main objective, that is called investigation, the investigation of that particular scenario where there is a dispute arising and the settlement of the industrial dispute, how peacefully the dispute can be settled by that particular works committee or conciliation officer or the adjudication. Coming to the modes of settlement of the disputes, one would be voluntary settlement through conciliation, or these are the authorities under the act, followed with the adjudication. If the conciliation is been failing, then it will go directly to adjudication, that is with the help of court. The court in this case would be labor court or the industrial court, and would be related to arbitration. Arbitration would be related to the third party would be deciding the case depending upon the merit or depending upon the circumstances of the case, what it comes for the hearing. Coming to the settlement machineries, there are the three different settlement machineries. What would be authorities under the act? The authorities under the act would be works committee, conciliation officer, board of conciliation, and the courts of inquiry. And the second part would be adjudication, would be either labor court or the national tribunal. And followed with the arbitration would be the appointment of the arbitrator. He would be the third party, would be descending upon the merit of the case. Now coming into the voluntary settlement in conciliation, what are the processes related to voluntary settlement in the conciliation? It will be through works committee. Section 3 of the Industrial Dispute Act empowers the appropriate government. Students, here the appropriate government would be state government or a central government, and to constitute work committee. The work committee would be formed in that particular factory or the industry where there is more than 100 employees. And the works committee would be formed as per the discretionary power of the state government or central government, and by the general or special orders in the manner under which the act is being stated. Coming to the voluntary settlement in conciliation, the two conditions are which are need to be satisfied is that the establishment must be industrial establishment, and second condition is that 100 employees are employed or have been employed in the preceding 12 months, then only the conciliation officer rule comes into the picture. It consists in the work committee, it consists of equal number of the employees and the employer. Now coming to the function of conciliation officer is to promote measures of securing and preserving the good relationship between the employer and the workman, to meet and discuss the matters of the common interest and to make efforts to settle the differences which may be related to wages, training, welfare activities of the workers, hours of work, holiday with payment or the bonus. So the function would be related to securing and preserving the good relationship between the employees and the workmen, and of such committees, such committees lies in the efforts made by both the parties for the employees and employees would be for healthy relationship. The description of the authorities would be related in this particular video would be related to constitution, the rights and duties of the authorities, and the powers under the authorities. Coming to the main criteria related to the works committee, it would be to strengthen the spirit of voluntary settlement between the employees and employee. Second would be to promote measures of securing good relationship between the employees and employee, to serve as a helpful agent in establishing continuing bargaining relationship between the employee and the employer, to improve the cause of friction in day-to-day works situation by providing effective grievance resolving machinery. So in a factory there should be a machinery, that would be work committee who would be coming on resolving the issues related to the workman. Coming to this particular slide, what I am making you understand that there should be progress, which is very important than the protection in the than the perfection at the beginning. So there should be progress, there should be some efforts by the workman, and there should be the efforts done by the employer also. So that progress is very important for the perfection which would be in the beginning. Second would be the variety to help identify the importance point which the workers are trying to say during the disputes which has come into the matter. Second would be the plan meeting to allow the better preparation and efficient workforce. Some small rot among the committee's member is desirable. If there is some dispute or some problems in the work committee, that can be also resolved. Make committee's members proud of their function and result, that the work committee should be feeling proud that they are resolving the problems, and there should be fine benchmark. There will be always someone to be learning from themselves. Coming to the reasons for failure of the work committee, the committees are not effective in maintaining the industrial peace and harmony. In some cases, the employee considered below their dignity and status to sit along with the blue collar workers. So there would be white collar persons, that would be the employer, and the blue collar would be the person who would be worker. So in some cases there would be failure of the work committee because the employer doesn't feel proper to sit in with along with the workers. Lack of competence of interest on the part of workers representative, lack of feedback of the performance of the works committee, and one of the main reasons of the failure would be vagueness of the purpose as stated in the act. So somehow the employer won't be satisfied to resolve the issues. That would be reasons for failure of the work committee. Industries work committee have been only on the papers, they do not function, they do not meet regularly or discuss the matters which are really important. Coming to the functions of the work committee would be to promote and measuring then securing the preserving the good relationship between the employers and the workmen. They also have to meet and discuss with the matters of the common interest to make the efforts to settle the differences, that is the matters concerning the welfare, training, the payment with the wages, the bonus, and would be some other cases as descending upon the merit of the cases. Such committees lies in the efforts of both the parties of the employers and the employee. Now coming to the appointment of the person, Section 4 of the Industrial Dispute Act empowers the appropriate government to appoint CEO, means conciliation officers, as number of things fit. It can be 1, 2 or 3 or 4. It may be sanctioned or for a specified area or specified industries, either permanently or for a limited period. That is the discretionary power of the state government or the central government. The act makes conciliation compulsory in all disputes of public utility services and optional in case of other establishment. So in case of public utility services like railway, state transport, or any of the air lines or shipping industries, that is called public utility service. Something related to taximans also, there should be a conciliation officer, whereas in other case of establishment, the conciliation officer mandatory requirement is not there. What the task is to find the solution which is acceptable by both the parties, that is employer and employee, and not to find out who is wrong. So that is the main purpose would be to find the solution. That is the role of the conciliation officer. Now coming to the position of the conciliation officer, it is an independent agency with the view to promote industrial peace by making available government facilities in the process of collective bargaining, that is between the employers and the employee. It has to do all such act which it thinks fit for the purpose of inducing the parties to arrive with the fair and amicable acceptable solution for both the parties. The decision of the conciliation officer cannot be final and binding. Now coming to the section 12 of the Industrial Dispute Act, which speaks about the duties of the conciliation officer. He has to hold the conciliation proceedings as prescribed in the manner as per the act. In case of public utility service where the notice has been given under section 22, has to give and hold the conciliation proceeding. In case of non-public utility services, no notice of strike, lockout has been given, then the conciliation officer, that is CO, has a discretionary power to decide to hold or not to hold the conciliation proceedings. So students, conciliation proceedings can be done only in case of public utility services, but in case of non-public utility services, it is the discretionary power of the conciliation officer to hold or not to hold the conciliation proceedings. What is the section 12 of the Industrial Dispute Act says that it is says that the conciliation officer should investigate the disputes without delay. It empowers him to do such acts which it deems fit for the purpose of resolving the disputes between the workers and the employers. If the conciliation officer is successful in resolving the dispute, he has to give the report to the appropriate government. It can be state government or the central government, signed by both the parties with the memorandum of settlement. Memorandum of settlement would be the terms and conditions which with both the parties, that the employee and the workman, has agreed. Suppose in case the conciliation officer has failed and is unsuccessful in resolving the dispute, still he has to give the full statement of the fact, the circumstances with the reason in his opinion why the settlement was not been arrayed, and the appropriate government has to sign on both the parties. Now, what are the duties of the conciliation officer? Duty to submit a report within 14 days of the conciliation proceedings, whether he is successful or unsuccessful. So, the minimum is 7 days and maximum is within 14 days he has to report to the appropriate authority. In case if the appropriate authority or the appropriate government feels that there is more time is required for the conciliation proceeding to start, then he has to take the permission and he has to inform to the worker also. If the appropriate government feels that the conciliation officer requires extra time, then the agreement from both the parties is necessary, with the approval of conciliation officer is also mandatory. Before that, the conciliation officer should also take out the time if it is being needed extra. What are the other options available? If the parties feel that they are in the mood to relent or reconcile, it would be perfectly open to him to initiate a fresh conciliation proceedings to bring the settlement of the disputes. So if there is a failure of the dispute and further case, if the workman feels like he wants to again initiate the conciliation proceedings, he can start, provided that the conciliation officer agrees. On consideration of the report, he will go to the appropriate government, then he may or may not refer to the further authorities. So once he goes to the conciliation officer, after he feels once again he reapplies for proceeding the conciliation proceedings, then his decision would be final and binding. Students, thank you for watching this particular video that was related to modes of settlement of the industrial dispute. Thank you from my side.